Let's try to beat the week 6 waiver wire like it owes us money, guys. Last week, I told you guys to pick up Woody Marks along with pretty much every other fantasy analyst, but still, we got it right. So I want to try to help you guys save your fab budget, save your waiver wire priority pickup so that next week, you're chilling, man. So let's get into this video. We're going to be talking about my favorite waiver wire stashes ahead of week 6. I'm Ron from Never Lucky. Thank you guys for being here. Let's hop into this video. All right, we begin this like we do with most of our waiver wire stashes videos. We got to talk about handcuffs, man. This is homework. Just check your waiver wire. Make sure that these guys are picked up. If you got a couple extra spots, maybe if you have the starter behind these guys, make sure you have them, man, because there's no worse feeling, dude. I had Chuba Hubbard. I didn't have Rico Dowdle. He was drafted. The dude never dropped him. I didn't get the opportunity to pick up Dowdle. I would have loved to, because then I don't have to really panic, right? I don't have to be like spot starting random players. So make sure you have your backups. I have them here ranked. I mean, you can kind of pick up whoever you need based on who you might have. A lot of people say you should pick up other people's handcuffs. I'm not too sure about that, man. I just feel a lot safer. I can sleep at night when I know I have my handcuff, right? Because like I said, dude, if you have Chuba, he went down, you don't have Rico, you're scouring, man. You're scattered. You don't know who to pick up. So, and then just one more little bit of thing. I just want to let you guys know who I said to pick up in the waiver wire video back on Monday. It's just a little review. Kenneth, Gainwell, Woody Marks, Kendrick Miller, Blake Corum, he was trash. Romeo Dubs, Wandale Robinson, Darius Slayton, Jalen Tolbert, Gadsden, Dart, and Brashard Smith. Some of these guys might reappear because maybe they're still on some waiver wires. These are the waiver stashes. We got Isaiah Bond at the top of this list, man. Now, I've been watching some tape on Dillon Gabriel. He looks good. This is a dude who used to be a Heisman finalist, man. He could sling it. He has an above average arm, above average accuracy. Cedric Tillman is now on IR. Isaiah Bond now steps into this wide receiver 2 role where Judy has kind of been unproductive. You know, it looks like they're doing a revamp, right? They're going toward their youth. They got Quinshawn, Harold Fannin. Isaiah Bond looks like someone that they really like. I personally have him ahead of Malik Washington, who's going to be the next guy we talk about, but I want to show you guys one quick chart. And the reason why I really like Isaiah Bond, dude, this is just the pass rate over expected. So here on the bottom, we have the expected and then actual. The Browns are up here at the top, man. They pass the ball a little bit less than 70% of the time, right along with their expected. So this is one of the highest passing offenses. And when Dillon Gabriel stepping in, dude, we are expecting this offense to be even more fast-paced. That's kind of what the coaching staff has been saying. That's what a lot of beat reporters are saying, that this is going to be an offense that's going to be a lot more fast-paced. They're going to be throwing the ball. They're going to be really moving the offense at a much quicker rate. I don't know how they get any quicker than this, or I don't know how they throw even more than this. So I'm really excited actually for Brown's pass catching options. I'm excited for Judkins. I'm excited for Fannin. Just keep that in mind, man. Just make sure if he's still on the waiver wire, pick him up, dude. You might even be able to start him this week. But let's move along now to Malik Washington. Look, Tyreek Hill out for the season. Jalen Waddle is going to fill that role. So Jalen Waddle, we're expecting him to be the wide receiver 1. That means that this coveted 6 or 7 fantasy points a game, wide receiver 2 slot for the Miami Dolphins is now up for grabs, man. And Malik Washington is expected to kind of slot into that role. He's kind of a gadget player. He's not really a high volume guy. I don't really know what his role is going to be. It's possible that he remains in the same kind of low volume, but like gadget player type role, which could be good. Right, he can get some touchdowns. He can get some high value touches, some end arounds and stuff like that. So I'm actually excited to see what happens with Malik Washington. I do want to give a quick shout out. I have him down at the bottom of this list, but I'll just shout him out now. Nick Westbrook-Ikhine, man, keep an eye on him because he was a big touchdown guy last season. Also low volume. He's an outside wide receiver. Maybe he steps into the wide receiver 2 slot as like a full-time field stretcher, kind of the sacrificial routes where he's just running deep routes, he's running post routes. And then I got Bhayshul Tuten, man. He's at the top of this list when it comes to running backs. Look, the thing is, this Jaguars offense, the offensive line specifically, is really performing at their absolute peak right now. They are opening up gaps. They have one of the highest yards before contact. Travis Etienne is completely looking great. I will admit, dude, I was, fading him kind of in the offseason. I think most of the fantasy industry was fading that man, right? But he looks great, but it's because of the system. And, he's a good, talented running back as well. Don't get me wrong. But Bhayshul Tuten is someone where this team went out, they drafted him. They really wanted him. They targeted him in the draft. He's explosive. He's the second fastest running back in the NFL. Now, look, that's not means to suddenly say that he's going to supplant Etienne just because somebody's fast. But he's a good running back, dude. He has really good metrics. All his advanced stuff looks really good. So make sure you guys pick him up because he's in a really good system. Somebody that, if anything were to happen to Etienne, he has value. Even without that, I do think like by the time his shoulder heals, he should be like a 40% snap type of player where they kind of use him as a change of pace. Maybe he gets a couple drives to himself. Maybe they do that type of thing. We need to see what happens, but he is just so dynamic. He's such an explosive running back and somebody that, it's an offense that's really competent, dude, really good. So make sure you guys pick up Bhayshul Tuten. Next, we got Brashard Smith, kind of in a similar type role, but more of a receiving back. Now, Kareem Hunt and Pacheco, these are 2 running backs with very complementary skill sets. One of them is butt, and the other one is cheeks, dude. A perfect marriage, a perfect complementary running back duo. And Pat Mahomes and Andy Reid, I'm joking, obviously. They said specifically that Brashard Smith is earning more touches. They're looking for ways to get him more touches. We see that his snap rates are rising every single week. So Brashard Smith, man, he's somebody that you can make the case he should be above Bhayshul Tuten, that he should be the number one priority waiver wire or waiver wire stash, waiver wire ad, because the team is gassing him up, dude. I want to show you guys one more thing. So not only did Pat Mahomes talk up Brashard Smith, he said he played a lot of receiver in college. He can run routes. He played running back, so he can go between the tackles. Those are special football players to have. They want to give him more work. And then another thing, this was the head coach, Andy Reid, on Brashard Smith. He said Matt Nagy is trying to increase Smith's reps every week and put him in a position where he can do some things. Now, do I want to start Brashard Smith this week? Do I want to just throw him into my lineup already? Probably not, but they see him as a playmaker. You know, Kareem Hunt and Pacheco, man, it's like Dingus and Chingus, dude. They're both super inefficient. They just don't look good. They don't look like they have a lot of juice. They're not really helping the run game very much, which sucks, man, because I really love Pacheco. He's somebody that I drafted in a lot of my dynasty leagues. I think he's fizzled out. I think, you know, the 6th round player, 7th round, I don't even remember at this point. I think it's time, man. It's time for this team to move along now to greener pastures. They got this young guy, Smith, very dynamic. He's kind of like a Tyrone Tracy type. I don't know, man. I just like Brashard Smith. I just think Isaiah Pacheco, I don't really know what his role is. He's not really good on short yardage. He's not a good receiving back. He does have explosion. He does have speed, but at the moment, that's really all. While Brashard Smith is a lot more dynamic, man. I love him as a pickup. Next guy, we got Justice Hill, dude. So Justice Hill last week had 26 fantasy points. It was a losing game script. He gets most of the touches. Derrick Henry is one of the most impacted players when it comes to game script. So when the team is losing, Derrick Henry just is not on the field. They are now going to be starting Cooper Rush against a pretty stout Houston Texans defense. There's a chance that this game that the Ravens go down, that they're losing. Their defense is atrocious. CJ Stroud might actually even be a good play this week, honestly, against this Ravens defense. And I think there's a chance that Justice Hill ends up being the guy who sees a lot of touches in this game. I am starting him in one of my leagues, man. I am down horrendous. I had Chuba Hubbard, and I'm basically starting Hill or Brashard Smith. I'm going with Hill. I just think he has a lot more upside. Cooper Rush last season was top 5 in check down rate. He had like a 9.3% check down rate, which would have put him in like the top 5, I believe, if he played enough snaps. He just didn't play enough snaps to actually be on these lists. But I love the juice. He's got big explosive play potential. He showed it last week. He scored 2 touchdowns against the Chiefs. One of them was like a long 70-yard touchdown where he just absolutely outruns everyone, dude. The man has juice, so pick him up. Next, we got to talk about Sean Tucker, man. So listen, Bucky Irving, he's going to be out for a couple weeks, man. It could be 2 to 3 weeks from what I heard. And we're kind of expecting Rachaad White to step into this 3-down role. It's probably what happens, but there's a chance, and I'm hearing rumblings from not only like beat reporters and stuff, but I'm hearing rumblings that Sean Tucker might be the early down guy. I want to show you guys a couple things here. Just real quick, man, this is his game log back to last year. I know it's only one game. It's not really worth showing somebody's game log from one game where they actually got touches, but he had 190 all-purpose yards, 14 for 136 and a touchdown, 3 catches for 56 and another touchdown. Then he just goes back to being absolutely irrelevant. This is a beat reporter from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Greg Alman. Somebody asked him, how do you anticipate the split being between White and Tucker? He said, depends on the score. If they're ahead, more Tucker. If they're behind, much more White. If it's close, still a heavy lean to White. So basically the thesis here is that if the Buccaneers are winning, then it's going to be Sean Tucker. He's going to get a lot of early down between the tackle stuff. If it's even, if it's neutral, or if they're ahead, it's going to be Rachaad White. Now, they do play the Seattle Seahawks, who are a very good team. It's likely they're behind, and it's likely it's White, and it's likely that it's a close game because it's like a conference game, right? So it could just be a close game. It could be mostly White, but pick him up because this is a stash video, right? We want to see what happens. If he ends up being serviceable, if he gets like 9-10 touches and he breaks off some big runs, which he's very capable of doing, he's going to be on next week's waiver wire video. You guys just know it, man. Now let's talk about Trevor Etienne. I mean, he's not really a great profile. He's not really a player that I'm super excited about in terms of his talent, but he's now the RB2 behind Rico Dowdle. There were some rumblings that he's potentially going to get some looks. He's going to get some work. The coaching staff, when they were asked about the running backs behind Chuba Hubbard, they said, I'm kind of paraphrasing here, they said that there's a lot of guys in the NFL who are looking for chances to prove themselves, looking for chances to get touches, and they're very capable and competent. It was something like that. Now, we've seen Rico Dowdle. We know what he could do. But what if Trevor Etienne is a guy, man? He's averaging like 5 yards per carry or 4.6 yards per carry or something like that. So I don't know, man. There's a chance that Etienne sees a couple touches this week. And then next week, if Hubbard is out again, maybe Etienne is going to be the dude that's like in a 50-50 backfield, and maybe you can start him. You just never know, man. And if something were to happen to Rico, Trevor Etienne would then step up. He's not really my favorite ad. I'm going to be honest, man. He's just somebody, he's really speculative. I mean, I'd probably take a lot of those other handcuffs over him, but I just want to talk about him because I did hear or see those tweets. All right, next category, we got IR watch, dude. Like, I'm a big fan of just picking up players that have some upside, throwing them in your IR, and then picking up another guy for this week, right? It's a nice little strategy. A lot of people forget to do that. It's trickier to do when you don't have open waivers where you might have to drop someone that you really like. I'm waiting until it's like 11 a.m. Germany time where I live. I'm dropping dudes that I like, but I don't want someone else to get them. I'll then add someone like Coker, throw him in my IR, and then pick up the dude that I dropped. I did that with Troy Franklin last week. This week, you might be able to do that again, man, with Taysom Hill. I mean, if you don't live in Germany, you can't really do this, but Taysom Hill, man, keep an eye on him. The Saints offense is kind of struggling for talent right now, right? Like, this is a team that they're pretty competent. They have a pretty decent offense. Obviously, they're like 0-4, I believe, at the moment. But Taysom Hill, dude, it's just, he can't keep getting away with this, dude. He's so old. He's coming off like a major injury, but it doesn't matter, dude. The team is just going to continue giving him touches. Every team, every coaching staff that has ever had Taysom Hill has been enamored with him. They've absolutely loved him. So pick him up. Let's see what happens. Juwan Johnson is still going to be the receiving tight end, but Taysom Hill, we know what he can do. He's that, goal line gadget player. He can also throw touchdowns occasionally. So he's a guy where if you're starting like fucking Evan Ingram or like, Dalton Schultz or some other bust stop Magoo, you can put Taysom Hill on your team in your IR. Let's see what happens. He's not going to play this week, like most likely, but next week, let's see what happens. Next, we got like the deep dart throws, man. These are guys I just want to cover briefly just because there's a chance. We already covered Nick Westbrook-Ikhine. Obviously, he could be the outside wide receiver starting on the opposite side of Jalen Waddle. Jackson Dart showed us that he has a lot of rushing upside. He had 20 fantasy points or 19 or so in that first game, and that was in a pretty brutal matchup for them. And Dillon Gabriel as well, man. Like, he's not going to be taking over this offense. And I want to show you guys this chart real quick. And guys, like I already mentioned with this pass rate over expected chart, the Browns, dude, they're just up here. They pass the ball more than anyone. And Dillon Gabriel's got talent, dude. He's got skill. I already talked about it with Isaiah Bond. Dillon Gabriel's somebody that add him to your team. Let's see what happens. He had 7 rushing touchdowns last year. He's not a natural runner. He only had like 140 rushing yards, 7 touchdowns. He can scamper a little bit. He's athletic. He's young. Let's see what happens, man. You could do worse, dude. If you're starting someone like Tua Tagovailoa, I think there's a little bit more upside with this team that's just throwing the ball at such a crazy rate. And there's some decent weapons, man. Quinshon Judkins looks like he's him. So pick up Gabriel. Just if you have an extra spot, let's see what happens. I'm kind of excited about his arm talent. This is a former Heisman finalist, as I mentioned, man. And then Kyle Williams is another one. Super deep stash. I mean, his snaps are increasing. He played about 30% of snaps last game. Didn't get a target. Nobody's really getting targets on this fucking team. I don't understand the Patriots. They're like adamant on getting Stephon Diggs involved as like an alpha wide receiver, but he's old, dude. Like, why are you not seeing what you have in Kyle Williams? I think as the season goes on, Williams will continue to get more and more work. He said recently, he's like, I'm just waiting for my turn. I'm getting more touches, but I got to wait my turn, which, he's very talented. He's one of the best yards after the catch wide receivers in the draft class. So I like Kyle Williams, dude. I have him in Dynasty. I'm just excited about him as a talent. Let's see what happens, dude. It's a pretty open wide receiver room. Like, Booty or Booty Butt Cheeks was looking good after week 1, but he ended up being a complete fart for us. So Isaiah Likely also, he was active last week, didn't play though, didn't really do much, or he didn't get any targets or anything. I think he was out there running a couple routes, but Mark Andrews still had a very high target game last week. So we got faked out, but he's going to be starting, or he's going to be active again this week. So I just want to see what happens with Likely and Andrews. What does the split look like? Because, last season and the season before, it was starting to look like it was going to be like a 50-50 split between them two. So I'm just curious, man. Like, tight end is one of those positions where, in my opinion, if you don't have like a high end upper tier guy, I want to take swings on young, exciting players. Like, I've had Dalton Kincaid this season. I had Dallas Goedert. I dropped both of them for Harold Fannin. It's not working out too well for me, especially because Dalton Kincaid keeps fucking scoring touchdowns, but I want that upside, dude. I want to see if I can get the next Brock Bowers. I'm regretting the Kincaid one a little bit, but Isaiah Likely is kind of in that mold where he's dynamic. He's a great pass catcher. He's, an end zone weapon. The problem is Mark Andrews is there, so there's not a lot of hope. That's why I have him in this like deep dart throw type category. But that does it for the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it, man. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for giving me your time. I genuinely very much appreciate it. If you guys did enjoy this video, A like is the best way to show support. Subscribe if you want to catch more of this. We're going to be doing Sunday Live, most likely. I'm crossing my fingers for it. It's going to be around 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, like an hour and a half before kickoff. So make sure you guys tune in. And if not, I'll catch you guys on Monday.